Men, listen carefully. Women aren't loyal to gifts, favors, or constant attention. You could provide everything: time, effort, money, or emotional support. But that doesn't guarantee loyalty, respect, or lasting attraction. There's one thing women are loyal to above all else, and understanding this changes how you approach dating, relationships, and connection. Most men get this wrong and end up frustrated, overextending themselves, or being taken for granted. This video will break down exactly what women value most and why their loyalty isn't about what you do. It's about who you are. It's about your presence, energy, confidence, and value. Women are drawn to men who embody strength, independence, and high social and emotional worth. When a man operates from this space, loyalty, respect, and attraction follow naturally. Doing things for her without this foundation is meaningless. We'll explore 7 key principles that reveal the truth behind female loyalty, why it exists, and how you can position yourself to be the man she truly respects and remains committed to. These principles aren't tricks. They're insights into human behavior, psychology, and desire. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your actions alone can't earn loyalty, how to naturally inspire attraction and respect, and what behaviors truly make a woman stick around. This knowledge empowers you to stop wasting energy, take control of the dynamic, and become a man who commands attention, loyalty, and desire without begging or overextending. 1. Loyalty to value. The first and most critical principle every man must understand is that women are loyal to value, not effort. Loyalty is not earned by what you do for her, buying gifts, paying attention, or constantly helping her, but by the inherent value you bring to her life. This value is a combination of confidence, independence, social proof, and emotional strength. Women are instinctively attracted to men who embody high value, and their loyalty follows naturally. Value isn't material. A man can have wealth, but if he lacks confidence, composure, and self-assuredness, a woman will not feel loyalty toward him. True value is demonstrated through behavior, presence, and energy. Women instinctively recognize a man who is emotionally independent, socially competent, and capable of leadership. These traits make her feel secure, excited, and engaged, emotions that form the foundation for loyalty. When you operate from high value, you don't chase, over-explain, or compromise your standards. Instead, you remain composed, consistent, and confident, creating a magnetic presence that commands attention. Women are naturally loyal to men who make them feel safe, respected, and mentally stimulated, because these men enhance their lives emotionally, socially, and psychologically. This loyalty to value also explains why women may seem indifferent to what you do materially or how much effort you put in. A man can provide comfort, gifts, or favors, but if he lacks intrinsic value, she will not stay committed. On the other hand, a man who embodies value without excessive effort generates desire, respect, and a deep emotional attachment that translates into long-term loyalty. Recognizing this principle changes the way you approach interactions. Stop focusing on actions or external measures to earn loyalty. Instead, focus on building your own value. Develop confidence, cultivate independence, maintain high standards, and master emotional intelligence. The more you operate from a place of intrinsic value, the more women will naturally respond with respect, attention, and loyalty. Ultimately, women's loyalty is a reflection of your value, not your effort. Understanding this truth frees you from chasing, overextending, or being taken for granted. When you prioritize yourself, your growth, and your presence, loyalty becomes a natural byproduct of the person you are rather than the things you do. 2. Loyalty to strength. The second principle. every man must understand is that women are loyal to strength. This isn't about physical power or dominance. It's about emotional, mental, and behavioral strength. Women are instinctively drawn to men who can handle pressure, remain composed under stress, and lead with confidence. Strength signals security, stability, and high value, all of which create a foundation for loyalty. Emotional strength is critical. Women respond to men who manage their emotions instead of reacting impulsively or needy. A strong man doesn't panic when she tests him, ignores him briefly, or challenges his composure. Instead, he remains steady, calm, and confident, showing that he is unshakable regardless of external circumstances. This reliability builds trust, respect, and ultimately, loyalty. Mental strength is equally important. Women are drawn to men who make thoughtful decisions, pursue their goals with focus, and maintain clarity of purpose. Indecision, overthinking, or insecurity reduces attraction and decreases the likelihood of loyalty. When a man demonstrates mental fortitude, she instinctively recognizes his ability to provide stability and direction, qualities that women value deeply. Behavioral strength comes from consistency in actions, boundaries, and standards. A man who sets clear boundaries, enforces them without apology, and upholds his personal standards commands respect. Women are loyal to men who embody principles and don't bend under pressure. This type of strength communicates self-respect and high value, creating a sense of safety and admiration that fuels loyalty. Strength also interacts with attraction. Women are naturally drawn to men who balance independence with confidence, authority with calmness, and assertiveness with empathy. When you embody this type of strength, your presence alone generates emotional security, curiosity, and desire. Women don't need you to prove yourself through actions. They respond to the energy, composure, and authority you carry. Understanding that women are loyal to strength changes your approach to relationships. Instead of constantly trying to earn approval or demonstrate effort, focus on developing your own emotional, mental, and behavioral resilience. Lead interactions confidently, maintain independence, and stay composed under pressure. Strength attracts, commands respect, and naturally inspires loyalty in women who recognize your value. In short, women don't follow men who are weak, reactive, or dependent. They gravitate toward men who are strong, grounded, and composed. When you embody strength in all its forms, loyalty becomes a natural byproduct of the value you consistently project. 3. Loyalty to consistency. Another key principle every man must understand is that women are loyal to consistency. Loyalty isn't built overnight, and it isn't based solely on what you do in the moment. It's earned through predictable behavior, reliability, and emotional steadiness over time. Women are drawn to men whose actions, words, and energy remain steady, creating trust and emotional security. Consistency shows up in multiple ways. First, emotional consistency. A man who remains calm, composed, and confident, regardless of circumstances, demonstrates emotional reliability. Women instinctively notice when a man is stable versus reactive. Erratic behavior, overreactions, or mood swings reduce attraction and undermine loyalty because they trigger uncertainty and emotional stress. Second, behavioral consistency matters. Following through on promises, showing up when you say you will, and maintaining standards without wavering communicates reliability. Women are loyal to men who demonstrate that they can be counted on, not just occasionally, but consistently over time. This type of stability is rare, which is why it builds deep respect and attachment. Third, consistency in energy and engagement is essential. Women are attracted to men who balance attention with independence, playfulness with composure, and emotional availability with personal boundaries. When interactions feel predictable in their quality but still exciting and engaging, she experiences trust, curiosity, and desire simultaneously. Consistency also reinforces value and strength. Women may test, push boundaries, or pull away occasionally to gauge your composure. How you respond matters more than the test itself. Men who react unpredictably or with desperation signal low value. Men who maintain calm confidence and consistent behavior signal high value, creating a foundation for loyalty. Finally, loyalty to consistency is intertwined with respect. A woman feels safe, secure, and emotionally connected when she knows what to expect from you. This doesn't mean being boring or rigid. It means leading with predictable standards, behaviors, and energy while keeping interactions engaging. Consistency combined with value and strength ensures that her loyalty is earned naturally, without manipulation or overextending effort. Understanding this principle changes your approach to dating and relationships. Stop trying to impress with sporadic effort or dramatic gestures. Instead, focus on being reliable, composed, and steady in your presence, actions, and energy. When you do this, women naturally respond with attention, respect, and loyalty, reinforcing your position as a high-value man. 4. Loyalty to challenge men. One of the most overlooked truths about female loyalty is that women are loyal to challenge. This doesn't mean conflict, manipulation, or unnecessary drama. It means they are naturally drawn to men who are slightly out of reach, who test their curiosity, and who push them to invest emotionally and mentally. A man who presents a healthy challenge without being needlessly difficult creates intrigue, desire, and long-term loyalty. Challenge triggers attraction because it activates a woman's instincts for engagement and pursuit. When everything is too easy, she feels no tension, no excitement, and often takes the man for granted. But when a man maintains high standards, shows independence, and doesn't give himself away too easily, he creates a dynamic that keeps her emotionally engaged. She starts thinking about him more, wondering what he's thinking, and wanting to earn his attention. This principle works hand in hand with value and strength. A man who challenges a woman while remaining composed demonstrates that he is not desperate, that he has boundaries, and that he respects himself. This type of energy triggers respect, admiration, and a subconscious desire to match his standards. The challenge isn't about denying her, it's about creating tension that fuels attraction. Challenge can be subtle. It appears in selective engagement, playful teasing, or maintaining independence in your schedule and interests. It's not about being cruel or intentionally creating frustration. It's about being slightly unpredictable, confident in your value, and unafraid to stand your ground. Women naturally respect men who do this, and loyalty grows because she begins to associate your presence with excitement, value, and emotional reward. Importantly, challenge strengthens emotional investment. Women may test you with attention pulls, teasing, or minor disagreements. If you respond with calm confidence, humor, and composure, you validate your high value while reinforcing her attraction. She starts to feel that your loyalty is earned, and she becomes invested in maintaining a connection with a man who is not easily won. Ultimately, loyalty to challenge explains why women often seem drawn to men who aren't overly available or who set boundaries clearly. It's not about games, it's about emotional stimulation, respect, and attraction. Men who understand this principle position themselves as compelling, high-value partners whose presence she wants to secure. Challenge creates tension, sparks desire, and builds loyalty that lasts because it's earned through your strength, value, and composure. 5. Loyalty to respect. Another fundamental principle every man must understand is that women are loyal to respect. Respect is one of the few things that cannot be forced or bought. It must be earned through consistent behavior, confidence, and self-assurance. Women naturally gravitate toward men who command respect through their actions, boundaries, and presence. Without respect, no amount of effort, attention, or resources will create genuine loyalty. Respect manifests in several ways. First, personal boundaries. A man who sets clear boundaries and maintains them demonstrates self-respect, emotional intelligence, and high value. Women instinctively respond to this because they recognize strength and stability. Men who fail to set boundaries signal neediness or low value, which undermines loyalty and attraction. Second, integrity and consistency. Respect is earned when a man's words align with his actions. Following through on promises, keeping commitments, and behaving predictably in important ways signals that he is trustworthy. Women are loyal to men who behave consistently because it creates a sense of emotional security and reliability. Third, confidence in decision-making. Women respect men who make decisions decisively, take responsibility, and lead interactions with composure. Indecisiveness or hesitancy can reduce attraction and weaken loyalty because it signals insecurity. Conversely, confident men who assert themselves appropriately create admiration and emotional investment. Respect also includes the subtle dynamics of social behavior. Women observe how a man treats others, friends, family, and strangers alike. How you carry yourself in social situations communicates value and earns unspoken respect. High-value men are treated as leaders, and women are instinctively loyal to men who demonstrate authority, composure, and kindness simultaneously. Finally, loyalty to respect is reinforced by emotional intelligence. Women feel drawn to men who understand social dynamics, can navigate conflict gracefully, and respond to emotional challenges with calm confidence. Respect amplifies attraction because it communicates that your value is inherent, not dependent on her attention or approval. Understanding this principle changes everything. Stop trying to buy loyalty with gifts, favors, or excessive attention. Focus instead on commanding respect through boundaries, consistency, composure, and confidence. When you do this, loyalty naturally follows. Women become emotionally invested, attracted, and motivated to maintain the connection because they recognize and value the high-status, confident man you are. 6. Loyalty to challenge of desire. Men, another critical principle to understand is that women are loyal to the challenge of desire. This doesn't mean playing games or being deliberately difficult. It means that women are naturally drawn to men who are not easily won, who maintain their independence, and who inspire emotional and mental engagement. When a man creates a subtle challenge, it triggers attraction, curiosity, and ultimately, loyalty. Women are wired to respond to tension and pursuit in the right way. If everything is easy, if a man gives unlimited attention or constantly seeks approval, desire quickly diminishes. The relationship becomes predictable, and loyalty fades because there's no emotional or mental engagement. A man who embodies challenge keeps the dynamic interesting. She feels motivated to invest in the connection because it stimulates her emotions, curiosity, and desire. Challenge works on multiple levels. Mentally, it involves being confident, decisive, and independent. She sees that your attention and energy are valuable, which increases her respect and emotional investment. Emotionally, challenge can appear as selective engagement, responding thoughtfully, staying composed, or occasionally pulling back to allow space. Physically and socially, challenge is demonstrated by maintaining your lifestyle, hobbies, and social presence without over-prioritizing her. Importantly, the challenge is not about rejection. It's about creating a sense of value, independence, and intrigue. Women are loyal to men who are exciting yet reliable, unpredictable yet composed, and present yet independent. The balance between accessibility and autonomy fuels desire and emotional connection. When she experiences this dynamic, her loyalty grows naturally because she recognizes that your attention is earned, meaningful, and rare. Understanding this principle also explains why women sometimes pull away when they feel highly attracted. This is not a lack of interest, it's an emotional test of composure and value. Men who respond with calm confidence, patience, and subtle engagement strengthen attraction. She begins to invest emotionally, mentally, and physically, which reinforces loyalty over time. Ultimately, loyalty to the challenge of desire is a reflection of high-value masculinity. Men who embody independence, composure, and strategic engagement create dynamics where women feel motivated to maintain connection, respect boundaries, and remain loyal. Desire thrives on tension and curiosity, and men who understand this principle can inspire deep attraction and long-term emotional investment without chasing, overcompensating, or losing their value. 7. Loyalty to emotional connection. The final principle every man must understand is that women are loyal to emotional connection. Above all else, women respond to men who make them feel understood, seen, and valued on a deeper emotional level. This isn't about constant attention or validation. It's about creating a bond that balances respect, attraction, and emotional intimacy. Women naturally attach themselves to men who make them feel emotionally safe, while still stimulating desire. Emotional connection shows up in subtle ways. Listening carefully, responding thoughtfully, and acknowledging her feelings communicates that you understand her world without overreacting or becoming overly invested. Women notice when a man can navigate emotions calmly, provide support without losing composure, and create a sense of security without being controlling. This combination is rare and powerful. It fosters loyalty because she associates you with stability, respect, and emotional fulfillment. Another aspect is shared experiences. Men who create moments of excitement, curiosity, and meaningful interaction deepen emotional connection. It doesn't have to be grand gestures. It can be playful banter, shared challenges, or moments of vulnerability that are handled with composure. These experiences form emotional memories that anchor loyalty, making her feel attached to the unique dynamic you bring into her life. Consistency in emotional connection is key. Women are more loyal to men who reliably create feelings of engagement, respect, and security. Emotional availability, combined with independence, signals high value. She learns that your presence is rewarding, not dependent on her behavior or constant attention. This dynamic strengthens both attraction and commitment. Importantly, emotional connection interacts with other principles: value, strength, challenge, and respect. When you embody these traits while fostering genuine emotional engagement, loyalty becomes automatic. Women naturally gravitate toward men who provide a compelling mix of stability, intrigue, and emotional resonance. Understanding this principle changes your approach. Stop trying to earn loyalty through favors, gifts, or over-attention. Focus on creating meaningful experiences, maintaining composure, and offering emotional understanding without desperation. The stronger and more authentic the emotional connection, the deeper her loyalty will grow, making her invested in maintaining the relationship with a high-value man who meets her emotional and psychological needs. Women don't stay for what you do. They stay for what you make them feel. Emotional connection, when combined with value, strength, challenge, and respect, becomes the glue that inspires loyalty that lasts. Men, here's the truth. Women are not loyal to what you do for them. They are loyal to who you are and the value you bring into their lives. Gifts, favors, or constant attention don't inspire loyalty. What truly matters is your strength, consistency, challenge, respect, and the emotional connection you create. Women instinctively recognize high-value men, and their loyalty flows naturally when these traits are present. Loyalty is earned, not bought. Women respond to men who demonstrate emotional, mental, and behavioral strength, maintain consistency in words and actions, and provide subtle challenges that keep desire alive. They respect men who uphold boundaries, make confident decisions, and operate from independence. Emotional connection ties it all together. When she feels understood, seen, and valued, without you compromising your standards, her loyalty deepens naturally. Understanding this shifts your approach to relationships. Stop overextending effort, chasing approval, or trying to buy her loyalty. Focus instead on building your own value, maintaining strength, and creating engaging, emotionally rewarding interactions. When you operate from this position, women are drawn to you, respect you, and invest themselves emotionally and mentally. The men who master these principles don't just attract attention, they inspire commitment, desire, and respect. Women who recognize true value become loyal not because of what is done for them, but because of what you make them feel, the respect you command, and the strength and stability you embody. When you embrace these truths, loyalty becomes a natural byproduct of the high-value man you are, creating relationships where attraction, respect, and emotional investment flow effortlessly.